Who's the better heel? Is it Dirty Dom or MJF? Let's start with Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom. And we were introduced to Dominic Mysterio through his dad, Rey Mysterio, Hall of Famer, the best luchador of all time, one of the best underdogs that we've ever seen in wrestling history. So when his son, Dom, eventually turned on him, he was making a big decision. He knew that things were going to change, and that's exactly what happened. He joins up with the Judgment Day, and we could see Dominic Mysterio just growing before our eyes. Listen, he learned on the job. This isn't a guy that was on the indies or went to NXT. Like, he learned on the job at WWE with his dad in a tag team. They were champs, and then thrown right into one of the biggest storylines in wrestling with the Judgment Day. And the evolution of his character has been phenomenal. He is one of the most entertaining wrestlers in the game right now. And the one thing I love about Dominic Mysterio is that there's nothing like cool about him being a heel. He is a guy that every single time he puts the microphone to his face, he gets booed. It doesn't matter where he is in the country, out of the country. Everyone is booing Dom Mysterio. And now, turning on Rhea Ripley and siding with Liv Morgan, it gives people even more of a reason to hate Dominic Mysterio. There's no redeeming qualities about him. He talks about Rey Mysterio as his deadbeat dad. He does the Eddie Guerrero. He does the frog splash. And if you remember that storyline years ago, where Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio battled for the custody of Dominic, only in the WWE would you have storylines like that. But he is on an absolute heater right now. And he is a guy that every single time he steps up and steps into the ring and grabs that microphone, he elicits a very, very strong reaction. And I wonder if he's the top heel in the game right now. Now, if you don't believe Dom Mysterio is, you may think that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is, MJF, a guy that we saw debuting early on with AEW. He was with Cody Rhodes. He turns on Cody Rhodes, and he was a heel pretty much for the rest of the way until he teamed up with Adam Cole, baby. And eventually, Adam Cole turns on him. For that little while there, you were kind of waiting for MJF to turn on Adam Cole, but he was kind of a babyface. But since he's come back after missing some time due to injury, he was kind of a babyface. Then he turns on Daniel Garcia, and he's a full-fledged heel again. And we watched during AEW's All In over the weekend in Wembley that he was the heel, wearing full United States of America garb against Will Ospreay over on the other side of the pond in England. And he has got that old school heel down to a T. He's kind of the modern day Roddy Piper. He's very loud, very boisterous, not afraid to use vulgarities and profanities. Um, he is really respected by a lot of old school wrestling guys that look at him and say that kid is going to be a super duper star. He probably already is a super duper star. He's already been the AEW world champion. He's still young, but I wonder, is he the best heel in the game? Because he still says things like the greatest place in the world, Long Island, New York. And when he goes to Long Island, he gets cheered. And I still think some people look at Max like he's kind of the cool heel. So does that take something away from his character? Possibly. Not saying that he's not great at what he does, because he is. And I've said this on the show before. I want my heels to be complete dicks, bad guys, no good, rotten. I don't want them to have any redeeming qualities whatsoever. I don't want anybody cheering for them. I don't care if they're in their own hometown. But when you look at what he's able to do and the old school heel tactics that he uses in matches, like the kid, he's a prodigy. I mean, you may not like it, he may not be your cup of tea, but you you can't deny that he's been in a ton of good matches. You can't deny that a lot of people that have been veterans in this game that have been around for 20, 30, 40 years look at him and they all heap a huge mountain of praise on him. But two talented guys, 100%. And with wrestling being as hot as it is right now, um, there's room for both these companies. And I think it's a great question. Who is the better heel? Is it Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio, or MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman?